Hey folks, welcome back. So we got a lot of stuff done. We as in me, myself, and I, right? So I got a lot of stuff done. Still working in my garden. The kale looks really good. The Swiss chard looks good. There's a lot of things that still look good. Fall gardening, but even that is closing down. It's winding down quite a lot. As you can see, the poor achocha do not like the hard frost, and neither do the violetta pole beans, folks. So they're gone. It is what it is. I got the seeds that I need for next year, and I have a handful to give away, and I've given quite a few of those away to people that I know and people that I know will plant them next year, and the people that I like, right? So I have a question for you folks. One I really don't know the answer to. I have 4 sweet potatoes, and again, with my lifestyle and my brain being pulled in a million different directions this summer and this fall, I had 4 sweet potatoes that I set in a dark, dry place. It was cool, but not cool enough. So the other day, I found these growing off them, folks. So I'm like, well, I can't plant them this time of year for sure. I barely have enough warmth and time during an early warm garden season that if I babied them, I could get some pretty good sized sweet potatoes, right? I did one year. But I had a plastic dome around it, right? That's what we have to do up here, folks. So I'm like, you know what? Until I figure out what I can do with them, I am just going to pull the plants off, put them in water, and see what will happen. Now, my question is, folks, well, I know that the greenery is edible, but that's about all I know, other than I cannot plant them this time of year here in Maine. So what do I do with these? What do I do with those? Do I keep them and keep the leaves for greenery to eat? Do I toss the whole thing? Well, minus the glass, right? Do I toss them, or can I continue doing this, keep changing the water out, keeping fresh water in there, and can I keep them until next spring, until I can put them in the ground? I really don't know. Will they grow to vine up inside my house? Will these grow and grow and grow and sprawl out? And if so, I do not want that in my house, right? Not through the winter. So what's your recommendation, folks? What's your recommendation? I don't know. I really don't know. They look pretty healthy. Well, this one here is kind of dried. I kind of found it when after that's dried, but the bottom is looking pretty good. So all I gotta do is clip that off. I'm not going to bother if you think I should throw them away. What do you think, folks? What do you think? So there's that. My table is the ground here outside. It really is. So I don't know if you can hear that wailing out there. They're doing something here on the road way out. My stepdad knows what they're doing, but I don't know what they're doing. And it's a little chilly. My ears are cold, folks. So my day is winding down a little bit. I worked my full-time job yesterday, which was long and hard. And then I was held over for almost an hour. And then I went to my part-time job, and I was there from 8:30 until almost 11:30 last night, which means that I didn't get home till close to 1 o'clock this morning. Had to start a fire, had to make sure my birds were all right, and of course we had a real big frost yesterday morning, so out with a flashlight and headlamp I went walking through my garden, right? So I got to sleep about 1:30. I got home about 1. So I guess that's that. Yeah, I don't know what to do with those sweet potato shoots. I really don't. Now, I'd like to grow them this spring. I really would. I had pretty good luck. I had to baby them when I did plant them before. I've got Guinea back there. Do I keep the potatoes, sweet potatoes, where they are in my house? And as long as they're not rotting, will they continue to produce sprouts where they are until spring? I really don't know, folks. I don't know. The guinea hear or see something, folks. I have no idea. So, I guess I'll continue this when the guinea quiet down. Alright, folks, I'm back. My hair's all messed up. I just went walking through the bushes. Not really sure what the guinea's problem was, but who knows? About anything and everything walks down through these woods. So, I've got 3 ducks that have followed me up in the garden. They're really not going to hurt much of anything in the garden, folks. I've got Napa cabbage going to seed. I've got lettuce going to seed. I have beet going to seed. That was last year's beet. And I think, oh, and spinach. I've got spinach going to seed. So, it's usually right around Halloween that I plant my garlic up here. So I've cleaned the garlic bed out where I want them. I'm going to amend the soil a little bit and then plant my bulbs at the end of this month. So everything is winding down. I am going to show you a hopness plant, and that is a wild plant. I'm going to show you the hopness plant, which is dying back because the frost has gotten it a couple of times. But I'm going to pull some of them up. They've been growing in that tub for about 3 years. They're going to start getting crowded. They may already be crowded in that half a barrel. So I've got to thin them out, and I'll do a demonstration on hopness. And we'll see what we can do about that. I have to cut my comfrey down and throw some of the bad leaves into the compost, and who knows what I'm going to do with the rest of it. Comfrey salve is really nice, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have the time. I've got the ducks here at my feet. There's Blue Eyes, there's Papa Love, and Daisy May. And let me take you off the tripod so I can show you. There's Daisy May. She has given me 3 batches of ducklings this year. And that one that's walking away from me is Blue Eyes, and his father is Papa Love. Papa Love is my breeder. He's my oldest duck here. He's handsome. He just loves to follow me no matter where I go. And Blue Eyes on the other side of him, the back side, he's friendly. He's not as friendly. Now let me show you something, actually. This is my cucumber bed, and as you can see, the ducks took my cucumbers off the plants, but they were pretty well dilapidated anyway. As you can see, they died back. There's one over there that they pulled from the plant and decided to eat the seeds. So they also made a hole, and this looks just like a duck foot, doesn't it? Looks like a duck stepped right on that, and that was dry rotted. So that's that. And there is a rotting cucumber. So I did get the opportunity to get 3 cucumbers, allow them to go to seed. Now I want to show you. You see how yellow, almost orange? I know the frost has hit it, so it looks like it's been been frozen. Well, it has, folks. But that right there, you see that color? That's the color you want to try to get your cucumbers to be. That's the mature stage before you collect your cucumber seeds, all right? So let me show you another one. You see that color there? That's the color. That's a mature cucumber. That's when you can collect the seeds, providing you don't have ducks that bite into them and then eat the seeds, right? Eat the innards and then leave the cucumber alone. So that's just the way it is, but I got my cucumber seeds anyway. So there that is. So right here, folks, I am at my kale, and I had a few beets that I planted here. I plant cylindrical beets, and I am going to pull up a couple. That's a cylindrical beet. It didn't get as long as it probably should have, but that's all right. That's still good to eat. Clean that up. Those greens are good. What I will do, because I know those greens are tough, I am going to clean them up and take away any that's damaged, and then I will dry those beet greens, and then I will clean that up, and I will either eat a few of these fresh, or I'll wash them up, clean them up, all that, grind them up and dry them, and then make beet capsules. Here is about the size my cylindrical beets usually get. I don't know if you can see that. They're pretty big. They're pretty big. So that's a nice beet. I really like cylindrical beets. They just do well for me here. And if I can find my other beet, probably making you dizzy, toward the end of the kale season, some of it's pretty damaged from, well, you can tell the ducks and guinea walk by, then they take a nibble, right? And then they keep moving on. But let me see if I can't find that other beet, because I need to pull it. This isn't the one, but this is a pretty good sized beet as well. The greens I won't bother with, but that's a pretty good sized beet. But I did find my poor onions, folks. Look at that beet right there. I'm going to pull it up because I need to. That is, look at the size of that beet, huh? Those beet greens are still good. I'll take off what I don't want on there, then I will dry them, because those are definitely going to be tough. That beet might be woody. I'm not really sure. It's a pretty big beet. It's in good shape, but still, I can clean that up, folks, and I could cut it up, grind it up, dry it, powder it, right? So that is all good. That is all good. And here's another beet. Doesn't look like it did as well. It's around, that looks like a Detroit. That might be a Detroit. I did plant those. And then a little tiny one. So I like to plant my Detroit. I do like to plant my Detroit beets, and I like my cylindrical. The cylindrical are just my favorite. They're just easier all the way around. So there it is, folks. There it is. So I hope you have a good night, and I hope this wasn't too boring, and you all have a good night, and thank you for being here. Good night.